It turns out that a single tweet might be all it took to cause a complete implosion of the right-wing media landscape.
There's wide, rampant suspicion that there's a DOJ investigation into conservative influencers who may be paid by foreign sources to both oppose and or support the Iran war. And all these conservative influencers are salivating over the prospects that their ideological foes within the conservative movement, not like liberals, within the conservative movement, may soon be arrested. Do I have that right?
That's right. Yeah. And the other thing to note is that this investigation almost certainly does not exist. Basically, this all came from a tweet Wednesday morning from this account named 0 Hour, who is sort of a character I've dealt with for a long time, but it's kind of just a shady character on Twitter. And basically he said, DOJ is investigating everyone. And they go, oh my gosh. And so all these right-wing media people jumped on it. They imagined their foes, whether it be, pro-Israel, pro-Iran war, against Iran war, against Israel. They imagine them in shackles.
Has the DOJ said anything? Have they denied that there's I don't believe there's any evidence that there is an investigation. I'm just curious if they've denied it.
No, they haven't denied it. You know what? I should ask them. I should say, are you gonna arrest Cat Turd?
Is Cat Turd among the targeted? It's just so funny to me that that this is what they are like jazzed about. The prospect not of like liberals getting arrested. We're past the point where they want to lock up Hillary Clinton. They now want to see like their own MAGA influencers locked up over this war.
Yeah, I think it should be a sign of how bad things have gotten in sort of the MAGA civil war over, all of these feuds. This idea that, it's gotten to the point where they're like, all right, look, we've tried, insulting each other on Twitter. We've tried fighting at the TPUSA convention. Now I'm just going to need Todd Blanche to take you away in handcuffs.
It's likely, though not impossible, that there is no actual investigation underway. But journalist Max Blumenthal exposed how Israel is essentially buying up and then propping up influencers to spread its propaganda.
Salem Media is an Israeli foreign agent. It is listed in a Foreign Agent Registration Act form with the Department of Justice as the delivery mechanism for a major contract between Israel's foreign ministry and Clock Tower Strategies through a German firm called Havas to propagandize the American public. We're talking about $10 million of direct payments to podcasters and influencers, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars to cover the deliverables. And the Salem Media Group Chief Strategy Officer is a federally registered Israeli foreign agent named Brad Parscale, who heads Clock Tower Strategies. Laura Trump, who is Trump's daughter-in-law, and Donald Trump Jr., who is Donald Trump's daughter, now own a 30% stake in Salem Media. So they have effectively merged through this foreign agent business deal with the Israeli foreign ministry. The Trump family has merged with the Israeli foreign ministry. You might not recognize them all, but these are some of the most visible figures in the MAGA podcast world. Josh Hammer, Israel Firster, has very little popular appeal, but you just see him everywhere because he's astroturfed. Dennis Prager from PragerU, which is this major propaganda mechanism, which has been actually affecting educational curricula in Florida under the watch of the Israel First governor, Ron DeSantis, where they're actually like propagandizing children in favor of Israel. Prager, I think, is a Jewish convert to evangelical Christianity. Larry Elder, one of the major Black Republican influencers, radio host. Hugh Hewitt, who is someone who was out there supporting the Iraq War, is like a very, very mainstream Republican AM radio voice. Dinesh D'Souza, Sebastian Gorka, who is on Trump's NSC team and has a radio show that's nationally broadcast. Brandon Tatum, Todd Starnes, and then Laura Trump and Don Jr. Okay, what do they all have in common? They all are broadcast through something called Salem Media. Salem Media is an Israeli foreign agent. It is listed in a Foreign Agent Registration Act form with the Department of Justice as the delivery mechanism for a major contract between Israel's foreign ministry and Clock Tower Strategies through a German firm called Havas to propagandize the American public. We're talking about $10 million of direct payments to podcasters and influencers, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars to cover the deliverables. And the Salem Media Group chief strategy officer is a federally registered Israeli foreign agent named Brad Parscale, who heads Clock Tower Strategies. Laura Trump, who is Trump's daughter-in-law, and Donald Trump Jr., who is Donald Trump's daughter, now own a 30% stake in Salem Media. So they have effectively merged through this foreign agent business deal with the Israeli Foreign Ministry. The Trump family has merged with the Israeli Foreign Ministry.
Guess who else works for the Salem Media Group?
Are we controlling the tempo, or is Israel controlling the tempo?
Well, look, the president said today we're coordinating, we're allies here, but it's perfectly reasonable to believe that we do have different objectives here. Our objectives, I don't think, have really changed. We don't want them to export terror. We don't want them to have nuclear missiles. We've taken out the Navy. And these are our objectives. Israel has to live with this in the neighborhood. And Israel, of course, for them, this is the finishing off of what was done to them on October the 7th, which will never happen again. So it's reasonable. It's reasonable for us to have different objectives.
Is the answer to the question that Israel does what it wants and we just have to live with it? Because that's the question the world is asking themselves. If Israel decides to continue moving up the escalation ladder, attacking energy, retaliatory attacks, that's not just Israel's problem anymore. That's the whole world's problem suddenly.
Well, look, it sounded to me today like President Trump was not happy about this strike, and it sounded like Prime Minister Netanyahu got the message. So, look, my anticipation is that we're heavily influential to them. We don't run them, and they don't run us. We're allies.
It's both horrifying to know how much scope these influencers, pundits, and political figures are being given, both by platforms like Twitter and channels like CNN, but it's also ever so slightly reassuring knowing that so many of these talentless hacks are being artificially pushed by foreign governments, in this case, especially Israel. It's hard to see any justice coming to these paid mouthpieces, particularly when Trump's own family owes 30% of the Israeli foreign influence company at this point, but eventually this will bite everybody involved. It's important to remember that it's not just politicians being lobbied at this point, and we should be as diligent about checking where any public figure's money is coming from as we are about super PAC money. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?